Good morning, this is Intuitive Anna Priscilla, and today I'm bringing you a video about the bad boys of the tarot, the Death, the Tower, and the Devil card. These are the three cards that put people off learning the tarot, and I hear a lot about, oh, they're so scary and negative. So recently, in the recent past, people have tried to water these cards down to make the messages they bring more palatable. So here we have a angel deck by Radley Valentine, which I absolutely adore this deck. But you can see the titles have been changed to Release, Ego, and Transformation. And the pictures are quite different, and I'll talk about those in a little while. So there are many different decks, have many different images for these three cards. This is one of my favorite. The Death card here, as you can see, this is from the Pinter Tarot, is the Grim Reaper. Here he has the skeleton, he's left that behind, and now he's going for their jewels. So this shows the transitory nature of everything that we are and we have. This Devil card is one of the best I've seen. It shows actually a human hand making the sign of the devil, making the face. And you can see scenes of war and disaster behind it. And this shows that we create our own hell on earth, that we're the devils, that it's our own negative impulses that create war, disaster, suffering. So it's not an outside, external agent. And this is something that's really important to remember when you're dealing with these three cards. And then the third card here that he has is the Tower. This is a different image too. You don't see the lightning striking. You actually see conquerors entering. So if your foundations aren't well guarded, or you're not in alignment with what you need to be doing, eventually something's going to happen to destroy that for you. So those are three different images, and you can look through many tarot decks and just look at those three cards and see how the Devil, Death, and the Tower are depicted. So what I wanted to also talk about was context. These cards can be your best friends. People fear them when they see them in a tarot reading, but I wanted to show you that they actually can be great help in your progression. So the Major Arcana, these are three cards towards the end of the Major Arcana, and the Major Arcana is our journey through life and the lessons that we need to learn to progress, to become enlightened, or if you want to say, to become mature human beings. And the first one in this progression is the Death card, which is the unlucky number 13. But in numerology, this is a 1 and a 3, which adds up to 4. So it actually, 4 is the number of stability and structure. So things have to die for new things to come, and that maintains this fabric of society, the fabric of nature. Think about the seasons. So this is also about the seasons, the cycle of life. Things are die and then they're reborn. So if we look at this card with the context of a few other cards, this shows you how the Death card can be your best friend. So here we have someone who's at a situation in his life emotionally that he needs to leave things behind. It's time. This has made him happy for a while, but now it's time to move on. But he's probably had a hard time doing that because all of these cups show something that are very dear and precious to him. So the Death card comes along and says, okay, I'll help you with that. Let's wipe the slate clean, move on, start a new life. It's over. It's time to leave. Even though you're having a hard time leaving, it's time to go. And then the Ace of Wands comes along and says, hey, look, the spring's coming. There's new things are sprouting in your life. New energies coming in. This is enabling you to have a new beginning, a new passion for life. Here you're really tired of it all. Here the Death says, okay, let's do this for you. And the Ace of Wands comes along and starts it all over again with a new passion, a new desire. Gets rid of your tiredness here. So the Death card in a reading very rarely means a physical death. And everyone you talk to who's read tarot for years will tell you that. I've only seen it once, probably 40 years ago when I first started reading cards, and that was with a huge constellation of other cards. So when you see the Death card, don't worry about it. Look at the context. What is ending? What needs to end? And how is that going to give you a new beginning? Now, it's interesting with the Radley Valentine death card, it's called Release, which is pretty much what I've been talking about. But he has the Archangel Azrael here, which is the most beautiful image I've seen on a death card because it's very positive. Azrael is the archangel that helps with transitions, that takes you to the other side. And he's supposed to be one of the most beautiful angels there are. So when you see Azrael, you see he's taking to this beautiful new place, and he's hold your hand the whole process. And I recently had a near-death experience a few years ago, and I had just purchased this deck, and this image helped me going through that whole process. And Azrael was there to hold my hand. So it can be a release. If you're sick, you're suffering, things have just gone on too long, Azrael will help take you to the next stage. The second card is the bad boy, the devil. This is the bad boy that you go out with, drink, party, ride dune buggies, skin dipping, just living it up. But sometimes you can get trapped in that. So again, we see other cards helping us to understand that. The Eight of Pentacles is an example. It doesn't have to be bad behavior. You can actually become obsessed with your work and your career to the detriment of everything else. Your ego needs the reinforcement, the power that all that brings to you, the recognition. So the devil comes along and says, hey, so give me your soul and I'll give you everything you want. Your career will flourish. You won't have to worry about progressing because you've given me your soul. This is your life now. And then suddenly you wake up and you see your wife's leaving you, your kids aren't speaking to you, and you realize maybe you need a little bit of balance. So the progression of the cards, we'll talk about that too. It's very interesting because this constellation of 5 cards has cards that follow to give it balance. So this card is 15, and the 1 and the 5 in numerology is 6, which is actually about balance and compromise and considering other people. So the numbers on the cards can actually give you a clue also to their benefits. So the interesting thing is that you can use these cards to take you to the next step in your progression as a human being. So seeing the devil is our own negative impulses and how we sell ourselves to that, how we get trapped in the devil's den. So sometimes we need something that comes out and takes us out and says, hey, stop partying now. I'm tired of seeing you lying on the floor every day. So temperance comes along and says, hey, let's find a little balance for you here in your life. And then the third card, the third bad boy, is the Tower. And this is, the interesting thing is this is different from the devil. The devil you can choose because you're choosing to go along that route. The Tower card is something comes externally and says, hey, this is not right, this is not healthy. If you're not going to do it, something else is going to do it. So this is the hand of, as you can see, lightning. The hand of the gods will come and destroy anything in your life that is not sound, healthy, or for your highest good. So that if you haven't given up the devil's den, the Tower will do it for you. So here you can see we have, in a context, this person here is taking on all the burdens of everyone around him, working himself to death. His health's starting to fail, but he keeps going. Wham, you have a heart attack. Wham, you have a car accident. Wham, something happens that tells you, nope, you got to get out of this cycle. And if it doesn't kill you, it will make you stronger, as the old saying goes. So again, this doesn't necessarily mean anything dire. It can sometimes, but it means you've gone too far. Something has to give, and if you're not going to do it, life will do it for you. But the card that follows the star in the tarot progression, the card that follows the Tower is the Star. So after the storm comes the lightning and the hail, the sun comes out, the sky is clear, you can see the stars, and you have hope again. So here you're trapped, you're in this tower, you can't escape, but the star will come and give you hope. once the tower falls. So you can see how all of these cards are great help once we're in a situation where we can't help ourselves sometimes, or something has to give. And the interesting thing is, they're not the end. There's 21 cards in the Major Arcana. These are part of the process. So these aren't the ending for you. These are stages in your progress towards being a whole, complete human being. So I just wanted to look again at Radley Valentine's Angel Tarot. Here we have the Release, which I explained was the Death card, of the Ego, which is the Devil card. Here we're chained by our ego to whatever situation we put ourselves in. And here we have Archangel Michael with this sort of light, severing those chains. Now you can think of Michael as an external energy, but it can also be your own higher self that comes in and says, hey, we need to get some light into this situation. So it says the illusion of being trapped. We're not trapped, we only trap ourselves. And then the third card in the cycle is the Transformation. And this is really an interesting take on the Tower, because we have Archangel Chamuel. He has the hourglass here, and it's running out. It's time. It's time. Something's going to give. But the image on this card is quite different, because we have the transformation stage. So the tower's been sacked, or it's fallen, but here it's being rebuilt. So even after destruction, the rebuilding can occur in your life. So this is a much more positive image. So I think it's great to have the balance of the two, because actually, yeah, something like this Tower card can be very disconcerting. You're going to be sacked and ransacked. Or this Devil card can be quite scary. But when you see it in terms of psychological progression, which Radley's done here, you get released from your ego, and this can cause a transformation in your life. So next time you see the three bad boys of the tarot, don't run and hide. Don't get your oracle cards out and just try to get something positive. Look at it. Look at, why am I trapped here? What have I sold? How have I sold my soul to the devil? How have I gone down the negative rabbit hole? What needs to go? What building needs to fall that I've erected? What castle am I hiding in? And when those three boys come to play with you, you'll be released, and you'll be able to move on to your life, and the star will shine again for you. So this is a wonderful way to look at these negative cards. Don't be afraid of the tarot because of them. They're very powerful. And I hope that helped you to sort of see things in a different light. So thanks for listening to this video. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe. And I'll be back with some more tarot tips for you soon.